everybody. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field on a beautiful day for baseball.
All right, welcome to the Baseball Show. Today is Tuesday, July 9th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Ruby Tuesday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Raymond Report. Come and check out the Raymond Report each and every day, where each and every day we talk about value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability, and we always use a strict money management system. Come and get some of our top tips, top 10 betting tips here at the website. And today you're going to hear me talk about some of the golden rules of sports betting. And one of them is we always talk about the sports books. Always remember, the sports books are not your friend. They're not the bank. They're the person you're going up against today. Number two, less is more. If you take that philosophy in life, you'll see things go a little bit easier. And today you're going to hear on the show three types of teams in sports. A-type teams, those are teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. B-type teams, 50 to 59.9. And C-type teams, those are teams below 500, just like an old high school sweetheart. You know they're going to break your heart each and every day when you bet them. And also we're going to talk about cycles. Team that's in a good cycle, a bullish cycle. Those are teams that are 7-0, 6-1, 5-2 in their last 7 games. Teams that are neutral, those are teams that are 3-4, 4-3, and teams that are bearish, teams, as Joe Namath would say, that are
Struggling.
Yeah, those are teams that are 0-7, 1-6, 2-5 in their last 7 games. And always use a strict money management system. Have a game plan, or as Mike Tyson say, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, and that's you don't want to be that, right? All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are located on the World Wide Web. My name is Ron Raymond, a 5-time sports handicapping champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. It's an overcast day here today in the nation's capital, 24 degrees, not too bad, and hopefully it's nice and sunny where you're at, and hopefully you guys had a good night of baseball. And looking at the leans we gave out yesterday, I think we went 4-3, and aren't you glad you took that Geico insurance in the Atlanta Arizona game? That was the third game in a row. The closer just pooped the bed, right? That's 3 games in a row. Never in his career did he blown saves like that. And we're talking about the closer for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I want to say Seymour's last name, but let me see here. Let me get his first and last name here. Yeah, Paul Sewald. Paul Sewald last night, 3rd game in a row where he gives up, comes in the 9th inning and blown save, 3 games in a row. Wow. So, I'm sure that's going to, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on that old saying, but 3 times in a row. Oh boy. Yeah, they got some problems there in Arizona, but Arizona is one of the teams that we'll talk about today here on the Raymond Report. In fact, I did a little bit of homework this morning. One thing I like to do on a Thinking Tuesday, I know this is a Ruby Tuesday, but one of the objectives every time I do the baseball show, I don't want to be that show where you just come in here, give picks, pat each other on the back and then go home type thing, right? I like to make you think. I want you to have a game plan when you're handicapping your games, and so the couple of angles I want to look at today. It's always good when you're it's handicapping, right? When you're a sports handicapping website, and if you're like a site like ours at ATS Stats, we're all about the numbers. And one of the couple of the things that I'm going to focus on here today during the show, I kind of like when I do these shows and I have a some type of theme going into the show. And today the theme is strength of schedule and offense and defense, right? Scoring offense, scoring defense. I think that's one thing we talk about it each and every day here on the show. But I think today we're just going to put a little spotlight on it and talk more about teams that are trending in the right direction and teams that are trending in the wrong direction. Now, if you go to the front page today at atsstats.com, you're going to see I got MLB teams trending analysis, including power ratings and straight schedule impact, right? Excuse me. So, let's talk about teams that are trending in the right direction. Now, yesterday here on the show, or on the website, I only had one selection. It was my free pick. It was Detroit Tigers. Tigers have been one of those teams right now that is trending in the right direction. Now, when you look at the Raymond Report, I got power ratings and I have strength of schedule. So if you look at the Detroit Tigers right now, their season power rating is at 48. But if you look at their last 14 games, it's at 53. And you're wondering, where do you get these numbers, Ron? Let me show you right now. Let me go to my dashboard. And I'm going to show you inside your members area. Go to SOS Strength of Schedule. Scroll down to Major League Baseball. And then once you get to Major League Baseball, there's 3 columns, all right? So let's take a look at Detroit. The first column right here is their season record, 43-48. And this right here, 49.7, is the strength of schedule on the season. And 48% is their power rating on the season. Now, this is their power rating after 7 games, and this is their power ratings after 14 games. So what I like to do is I like to take the season power rating and compare it in a short-term cycle, in a 14-game cycle, what they're doing compared to the season average, right? So if you look from a short-term cycle, long-term cycle, and again, it's like the stock market, right? What goes up must come down, and teams can't win forever. They can't lose forever. But if you look at this power rating, you can see that Detroit on the season has a power rating of 48, but they are trending in the right direction. And that's the objective in sports betting, right? When you're trying to make money in handicapping, in sports betting, you're trying to obviously bet on the teams that are in a winning cycle. And right now, the Tigers, last 14 games, they have a 53 power rating. And the thing that I like about this with that chart is their last 14 games strength of schedule is one of the toughest compared to the other teams, right? So if you look at their strength of schedule in the last 14 games, it goes from 49.7 on the season to 56.1 last 14 games. So if you're looking for an angle on a team that's doing very well against good opponents and tough opponents, well, right now the Detroit Tigers are one of your top teams that are trending in the right direction. So keep an eye on the Detroit Tigers. I think the Tigers are a team you want to focus on here in the short term. Houston Astros, we've been on the stroll since the J series. If you look at their current power rating on the season, 50. Last 14 games, 62. That's a 12% difference on the season. And look at their strength of schedule, 48.9 on the season, 53.06 in the last 14 games. So keep an eye on the Houston Astros. Minnesota Twins, big win last night against a scrappy White Sox team. Remember we talked about yesterday, the White Sox, the Oakland A's, teams that, don't have really big talent on the roster, but every time you go in head-to-head with them, you're in for a dogfight. And Minnesota had to scrap to get that one last night. They got a power rating of 53 on the season, but 60 on the last 14 games. And if you look at their strength of schedule, it's pretty much the same, right? 48.5 and 49.4. So Minnesota, another team trending in the right direction. And the last one, San Diego Padres. The Padres have a power rating of 51, 57 last 14 games. And if you look at their strength of schedule, it's not as good as the other teams. It's the only one with the one that's a decline schedule of 50.13 on the season, but 48.9. But that's things they can't control. They can't control the schedule, but what they can control is the W's. And right now, San Diego, last 14 game, 57 power rating. All right. So those are the teams you want to keep an eye on today when we're handicapping. Detroit, Houston, Minnesota, San Diego. Now, what goes up must come down. And that's the beauty about sports, right? Is that, at the end of the day, you got teams that are winning and teams that are losing. Half the teams on the day are going to win and half the teams are going to lose. It's your job to find the teams that are going to win and find them in the right cycle. Now, the LA Angels on a power rating of 47, 45 the last 14 games. So, and the thing that's really disappointing with the Angels right now is if you look at their current power rating on the season of 47, they had a 52.1 strength of schedule. But look at their last 14 games. They're losing against weaker opponents at 40.3%. So Angels are not, they're not playing their best baseball right now, and they're on the decline. New York Yankees, man, this is the biggest jump. You went from a 55 power rating on the season to 40. That's a 15-point jump from current season of 55 to 40 on the last 14 games. And, Giancarlo Stanton not in the lineup is huge for the Yankees. Not having him behind Judge, or is it behind or in front? I can't remember. I think it's Stanton, then Judge, right? But not having Stanton in the lineup is really hurting the Yankees. 50.6% on the strength of schedule in the year, 52.04 last 14 games. Now, the Seattle Mariners, the one thing with the Mariners, we know they can pitch, but they can't hit. If you look at the Seattle Mariners, they are ranked 3rd in Major League Baseball in points against. Their pitching staff has given up 3.76 runs against per game. And on the season, their average of 3.8 is ranked 27 on offense. So you got really a Jekyll and Hyde team here in the Seattle Mariners who don't do a very good job offensively, scoring runs, but they can pitch with the best of them in the major leagues. And the last one we saw last night, Chicago White Sox, those are the type of teams that they lose those type of games, right? They fight, but they can't finish. And the White Sox proved it last night with a 8-6 loss to the Minnesota Twins. 8-6 or 6-4, I can't remember, but it was a loss by 2. And the current season power rating of 41 and 42 last 14 games. And the strength of schedule, 53.1 on the season, 48.4 last 14 games. And those are your 4 teams on the decline. The Angels, the Yankees, the Mariners, and the White Sox. Those are teams you probably want to stay away from. Struggling just a bit. All right, so again, the food for thought. Just every time I do these shows, I like to bring a different angle to the bullpen and to see what you guys think of that. And if you kind of agree or disagree, we'd love to hear from you. And the bullpen looks like they haven't had their coffee yet because nobody in the bullpen is talking yet. But we'll wake them up and we'll get them some straight cash.
Straight cash, homie.
All right, let's also, the other thing I want to talk about is I talked about it briefly with the Mariners, is offense and defense. And that's another feature here we have at the website. If you go to your dashboard, and then once you go to the, I'm paying attention, boss says Googler. All right. I love it. I love when everybody's paying attention and they're taking notes. Okay, so you go to your dashboard, go to scoring average, and then once you go to your scoring average, go to MLB. And then click on game and matchup. So you see here, this is the overall standings of the top offense and defensive team. And if you want to see how they do against the team they're facing that day, click on game matchups. And what it'll do is tell you, all right, the Cubs, the 19th ranked offense against the number 1 ranked offense in Major League Baseball, the Baltimore Orioles, averaging 5.16 runs per game. And each of these teams have an identity, right? When you think of the Baltimore Orioles, what do you think of? Obviously, you think of the offense, right? When you think of the Cleveland Guardians, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Defense, averaging 3.82 points runs against a game, ranked number 4 in the league. And then you're going to get these teams, the middle of the pack teams, right? Detroit, when you think of Detroit, do you think more offense or defense? Well, when you look at the numbers, they're telling you that they're 4.29, so they're more of a defensive team than a power hitting team. And then you got the Dodgers and the Phillies. Anytime you can be in the top 10 of both categories, offense and defense, well, then you're probably having a good year. And that's the case here with both these teams, the Dodgers and the Phillies. Phillies are ranked number 2 defensively, giving up 3.7 runs against per game, averaging 4.91, while the Dodgers averaging 5.03 runs per game, giving up 3.89. So both these teams, and the only problem is with these type of teams, they're going to come with a hefty price tag. And if you're going to want to bet them, they're probably going to be, an overvalued team to wager on. Now the Yankees, like we said, some of the teams that are going on the downslope right now, and maybe what the doctor ordered, a series with the Tampa Bay Rays in Tampa Bay, and the Yankees ranked still, even though they're on the decline, they're still ranked number 2nd in Major League Baseball in runs for, giving up scoring 5.04 runs per game, giving up 3.95. And anytime you can be in the top 10 on offense and defense, well, even though you're having a bit of a hiccup right now, like the Yankees are, you're still having a good season, and you just got to fight through this, and hopefully you get some of those injuries back, right? Tampa Bay, probably one of the biggest disappointments for me this year, the Tampa Bay Rays. I always had them up there, winning the division with the Yankees and the Orioles. Well, the Orioles really the last couple of years, right? But the Rays have always been consistent. But hey, you know what? It's been a good run here for Kevin Cash and the Rays, and this year it just it's not happening for them. All right, Cincinnati, believe it or not, they're a top 10 pitching staff in the league, giving up 4.04 runs per game. You got Oakland and Boston. Boston trending, somewhat in the right direction right now. Had a good series against the Yankees, and they're doing very well. You got Washington against the Mets. The Mets ranked 9th on offense, scoring 4.79 runs per game. Kansas City, believe it or not, only giving up 3.93 runs a game. That's good for 6. And when you thought of the Kansas City Royals, did you think they were more of an offense or defense defensive team, and you can see it's defense. Miami taking on Houston. Houston, watch out. Hey, we had that poll question of the day yesterday. Which three teams we thought would have more value to win the World Series and maybe a better hedging opportunity between Texas, Houston, and Boston? And I think Houston came out the favorite in that poll. So, keep an eye on the Houston Astros, ranked 10th in offense and only 14th, though, on defense. Minnesota, when you think of the Twinkies, right, you're thinking of that offense, ranked 4th in the Major League Baseball, averaging 5 runs per game. The Chicago White Sox, struggling. Milwaukee, top 10 in both. Milwaukee's been having a good year, and look at that, 4.82 runs per game, 3.96 runs against. Then you got Texas, a little bit, here's another team that's a little bit disappointing, right? You win the World Series last year, and obviously you got some pitching woes and some injuries, and now you got Mad Max back, but you know what? Texas, a little bit disappointing right now. We'll see if they can get a good run after the All-Star break and maybe get us that plus 7,000 futures hedge just to make the wild card. Atlanta Braves, your number one pitching staff in the Major League Baseball, and losing Ronald Acuna Jr. obviously doesn't help the offensive averages. In fact, they are now ranked 16th, averaging 4.31 runs per game. Arizona. Hey, if you thought Arizona was a hitting machine, yeah, you're right, because they are ranked 5th in the league, 4.92, and giving up 4.85. Seattle, there's your classic Jekyll and Hyde team, right? They're ranked 27th on offense at 3.8 runs per game, but giving up only 3.76 runs a game. So ranked number 3 in Major League Baseball, which is phenomenal when you think about it, right? You're a top 5 pitching staff, but you got to get that offense going. San Diego, ranked 12 and 17 respectively, and the Toronto Blue Jays 25th and 21. There's another team underachieving this year, and I thought they would be a little bit better than that. All right, there's Greek Man 581. Good morning. It's the network. Show me the money. Show me the money! And so a little food for thought there this morning, guys. I thought I would bring the scoring averages here just to did anything really surprise you in these numbers? When I looked at this morning, I was a little surprised by Milwaukee being in the top 10 in both categories of runs for and against. But, they're in first place, so I shouldn't be that really surprised. Another surprise was obviously Seattle. I didn't think Seattle would be that poor on offense, averaging only 3.8. And Atlanta, your number one run pitching staff at 3.64. So those are the three that really caught my eye this morning. And on the strength of schedule, when we talked about the teams that are trending up and down, well, you can see the Tigers, Houston, Minnesota, San Diego are teams you want to pay attention to today. All right, let me know what you thought of that segment, if you got anything out of that. But now let's go to the opening bell and let's see what the markets did yesterday in Major League Baseball. All right, in this corner, weighing $150 is the bookmaker, and I think the bookmaker, let me see here, yesterday, I think they had a good day. It was a 5-3 or 5-2 for the favorites. Yeah, 5-2 for the favorites. They're on a 3-day win streak right now. 4-3 on the run line. 3-3-1 when it comes to the over/under. And when you look at the 7-day average, 53.9% of the favorites have won the last 7 days. So we're in a neutral market right now when it comes to betting Major League Baseball favorites. And when you're betting the spread, the run line, underdogs winning 61.3% on the Geico Insurance. 61.3 is pretty good. And we took Detroit yesterday on the run line. Didn't need it because the Tigers won a soccer game yesterday, 1-0 at Comerica. And if you had Detroit, congrats, you made it to the winner's circle. All right, 54.6% of the games have gone over the total the last 7 days. And if you're betting totals, well, you can see on the season, it's pretty much a coin flip, 49.7 and 50.4 for the under. And it's a neutral market. Very rare you see the totals go into a bearish or bullish cycle. It's pretty much neutral. Bookmakers have done a very good job. Just look at the green candles on both sides, and that's why the over-unders, if for a lot of sports bettors, people like to bet the totals because from a market psychology, they feel they have a better chance, a 50-50 type chance of winning compared to the bookmakers. Because when you look at the favorites in Major League Baseball, it's basically a 60-40 edge to the for the books, right? Because the books, the first thing they do is they tell you who's going to win. And by doing that, they're telling you who's favorite. So when they're telling you who's favorite, they're really basically telling you who's going to win the game. And 60-40 is close to what we have this year in Major League Baseball. All right, let's get to the games. Let's go to Camden Yards, where Baltimore is going to take on the Chicago Cubs. Now, the Orioles, a -149 favorite. They're off a 6-3 win last game against Oakland, while the Cubbies, they won 5-0 against the Halos. Today, Jameson Taillon is going up against Dean Kremer, and Kremer just back from injury, 4-4 in the year, 3.93 ERA, while Jameson Taillon 5-4, 2.99 ERA. I'm going to need a little bit of water here, just a little regroup. There we go. Okay, then we'll get right back out of here. All right, so we got a -149 line. My line on the game was -176. So we do have an undervalued Baltimore Orioles team who's neutral right now. Same thing for the Cubs. And Baltimore, 7-3 last 10 games. And for the Cubbies, a 5-5. Kogo's at 60%. Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total. And looking at this one here, the Cubbies 17-28 on the road, 29-17 for Baltimore. I got to lean here. With the Baltimore Orioles. And I think the Orioles coming in A neutral against C neutral. Give me the Baltimore Orioles today against the Cubbies. And as the Hawk would say, put it on the board.
You can put it on the board, yes!
All right. I like Baltimore. What do you guys like? All right, just found your channel. Learning a lot how important are lineups, changes, injuries, whether you are making your picks. Yeah, absolutely. Lineup changes, injuries, a big key factor there, King J. If you look at the website, ATS Stats, and you'll see on the front page, I did update. I'm going to update it after the show. The injuries of both the teams for Major League Baseball. If you look at the Yankees, right? The Yankees, they're hit by the injury bug. And Giancarlo Stanton not in the lineup really hurts the Yankees. No Rizzo. There's injuries play a big factor. And the one thing with injuries is the line will tell you when a major player is out, right? You don't think when LeBron James is out of the lineup, or some of the jokers out of the lineup for Denver, that line's gonna be off. And when the line's off, you got to go look and say, okay, why is this line not what it normally is, right? For example, if I look at Baltimore today, they're -149, and my line is normally 176. So if I go look at the Baltimore Orioles today, and I want to go look at their lineup, and let's go take a look at the Baltimore Orioles to see which player is let me go to their depth chart. And it's Baltimore. See, I got Baltimore at 176, and it's almost a $27 difference. So who's really out in Baltimore that's hurting us right now, right? Okay, a couple of pitchers in the bullpen. You're missing Bradish, Means, and Wells, but they're not affected today because they're not starting. But you look at Chicago, and that's the other thing, right? The Cubbies been hit by a lot of injuries in this season, and today you got let me see, Toshman's out, and who else is out for Baltimore? Yeah, a lot of the pitching. Javier Assad, losing Hassad is a big loss for the Cubbies. And and Mark Leiter, yeah, they're hit by, they've been hit by the bullpen all year. So when you look at the lineup, the numbers will always tell you that if there's something wrong, right? When you see a number that is wrong, and one thing I like to do is when I look at the starting pitchers, I used to do this. I used to have like a line on each starting pitcher, and I would take my line and compare it to the bookmaker's line, and it's basically the value index where you're seeing right here, -176. So today I do like Baltimore. They're back to Camden Yards, and hopefully we can get that win here today at Camden. All right, let's take a look at the Guardians taking on the Tigers. That was a 1-0 game last night at Comerica. Today you got Kenta Maeda going up against Ben Lively. Ben Lively 8-4 on the campaign, 3.14 ERA, while Kenta Maeda is 2-5, 6.71 ERA. Pretty high ERA. But when you look at the Tigers, 20-22 at Comerica, Cleveland 26-22. They are A neutral against a C bullish team right now. And if you saw the beginning of the show, you know that Detroit is trending in the right direction. I like Detroit. I think they're doing they're in a good cycle right now, playing some good baseball. Big 1-0 win last night at home. I'm going to go with the team that's bullish right here. I'm going to go with the Tigers, and I'm going to take a look here how much that Geico insurance is. Let me see. Detroit at +1.5 is minus 128. Yeah, you know what? I like that. I'm going to go Detroit plus 1.5. And let's put that on the board.
You can put it on the board. Yeah.
All right, let's go to this is going to be the series of the week. Okay, the series of the day. The LA Dodgers taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Now the Dodgers, they're hit by the injury bug just a bit, right? You know, no Mookie Betts. And when you look at some of their lineup right now, so you got Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, Hernandez, Page, Outman, Rojas, Gavin Lux, Taylor. So Dodgers, yeah, hit by the injury bug just a bit. And let's take a look at their the guys who are out right now. You got Max Muncy's out. You got Mookie Betts out. You have who else is out here? The bullpen. You know, Yamamoto's out. You got Walker Buehler's day off out. You know, Kershaw hasn't been there. May's been on the DL since the beginning. Gonsolin. Yeah, they got a lot of guys out right now. So LA Dodgers, and every team goes through this, right? We saw the same thing when the Atlanta Braves lost Ronald Acuna Jr. You know, you're not going to escape the injury bug unless you're like Baltimore. Baltimore's been pretty good, knock on wood, when it comes to the injury report. Philadelphia Phillies, though, they're going to send Zach Wheeler to the hill with his 9-4 record, a 2.74 ERA against Bobby Miller. And anytime we say Bobby Miller,
Dilly.
yeah, it's dilly time. And today, Bobby Miller for July 9th is 1-1, a 6.12 ERA. And I do have the Phillies winning this game 4.79 to 4.4, the over-under, landing on 9.19. So we do anticipate a high-scoring game today at Citizens Bank Park. Chance of winning this game straight up favors Philadelphia at 54.6%. But the bad news is they're coming in on a 2-game losing streak. But they're still A neutral against an A neutral team. And anytime the Dodgers and Phillies face A-type teams, LA has the better record. LA is 7-4 overall against teams above 60%, while the Phillies are only 6-8 against teams below 500. So, you know what? I just wish it was we had another pitcher going here for the Dodgers. Bobby Miller. Let me take a look at his last outing to see if see if it's worth the value here. You know, one thing when you're betting on these good teams, you know, Philly or LA, and obviously one of them has to be an underdog. You got to see if the underdog is bringing you any value, right? And when I look at Bobby Miller, the one thing I look for is consistency in inning pitch, right? And when I look at the consistency of Bobby Miller, last game, July 2nd against Arizona, 5 innings, only went 2 innings against the Chicago White Sox. That's not good. Colorado went 6.1. At Colorado, that's pretty good because that's a hitter's ballpark. At Minnesota, 4 innings. At Chicago Cubs, 1.2. So, you know what? Not a great track record here for Bobby Miller. I'm going to go with the Phillies here. I'm going to go with the better pitcher, Zach Wheeler, 9-4, 2.74 ERA. Give me the Phillies over the Dodgers, and let's put it on the board.
You can put it on the board. Yeah.
All right, the horse won last week at FanDuel. More horse picks today and tomorrow, says Apache Storm. All right. There you go. Congrats. Yeah, you know what? I put on the FanDuel picks today. If you go to the front page of atsstats.com, hey, maybe it was I had it in my sites here. FanDuel Racetrack. And if you like FanDuel Racing today, kicking off the day at the Gripping Claiming Race, 6 furlongs in the dirt, and season Shanghai Point. Actually, if you go to the Raymond Report, you go to our premium tip sheet, and if you go to FanDuel Racing, hey, a little break here in baseball, hey, because now you got my interest in the horse racing. Let's go take a look at the races today at FanDuel. Yeah, we like Shanghai Point today at race number 1. The number 2 is 5-2 morning line, and Benduzu taking a ride here on the number 2. We got 4 Devil's Rule coming in second, and number 5, Gallant Buck. So 2, 4, or 5 in race number 1 at FanDuel Park. All right, back to baseball, and let's go to Tropicana Field. And see, that's the thing when you own a sports handicapping site. Hey, you don't miss a beat. You can go to FanDuel in one segment and then right back to baseball in the other. Hey, don't you just love this show? Tampa Bay Rays taking on the New York Yankees. Now the Yankees, as Joe Namath would say. or Lombardi, but the Yankees struggling big time. 3-7 straight up in their last 10 games, while Tampa Bay, they're not any better, 4-6. So company loves misery, and they're meeting today at 6:50 Eastern at Tropicana Field. You got Carlos Rodon going to try to stop the bleeding here against Ryan Pepio of the Tampa Bay Rays. The lefty Rodon is 9-6, a 4.45 ERA, while Ryan Pepio 4-5, 4.40 ERA. But the Yankees, believe it or not, the Yankees play better away from Yankee Stadium than they do at home. They are 30-18 on the road, while Tampa Bay is 23-25 at Tropicana. They're riding a 3-game losing streak right now, and they're off a woodshed game. Look at that. Texas took them right behind the woodshed, and they beat them 13-2 last game, while the Yankees lost on the ESPN Sunday night game of the week 3-0 against the Boston Red Sox. And today you got an A bearish team against a C neutral type team. I had the Yankees at -149. You're getting a discount here at -116, and I had the Rays at +130. I just every time I take Tampa Bay this year, it just seems that they let you down, right? And again, when you look at the two big hitters for Tampa Bay, Rosarina and Yandy Diaz, it's just, unfortunately for them, not their year, right? And you look at the Yankees, and let me take a look at the Yankees lineup going into today. You got Volpe leading off. So you got Soto, Judge, Verdugo, Torres, LeMahieu, Rice, Wells, and Grissom. And then you got Yandy Diaz, Rosarina, Rosario, Paredes, Siri, DeLuca, Caballero, Wells, and Jackson for Tampa Bay. I'm going to have to go with the Yankees in this one. I would love to take Tampa Bay, but I'm going to go with the veteran Rodon, the lefty, and let's hope the Yankees get back in the win track here. Give me the New York Yankees today over Tampa Bay, and you can put it on the board.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, haven't given out any totals yet, eh? All side picks. All right, that's okay. Cincinnati taking on the Colorado Rockies. The Reds winning last night 6-0 against Colorado. Today you got, looks like Nick Lodolo's back, but check your listing. I'm seeing a couple of other pitchers too, so we'll see if Lodolo is back. If he's back, he's 8-3, 2.96 ERA, while Cal Quantrill is going to go for the Rockies. He's 6-6 on the year, a 3.77 ERA, and the bookmakers got Cincinnati a 166 favorite. I had them listed at 144, so if you like Cincinnati, they're a little bit overvalued today against a Rockies team who's 5-5 last 10, and Colorado 12-32 on the road this year, while Cincinnati, you think they'd be good at home, but they're only 21-26 at home this season, and they are now 5-5 last 10, 3-7 to the under. But Nick Lodolo up against Cal Quantrill. I'm gonna take a flyer here. I'm gonna go with Colorado. Yeah, I can't take the favorites on every game here. I'm gonna have to look at Colorado, and maybe I go get that Geico insurance. This is let me see here. Colorado Rockies against Cincinnati. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Geico insurance. Give me Colorado +1.5 at -138, and let's put it on the board.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, the horse won last week at FanDuel. Yeah, we got that. All right, let's go to Boston, Fenway, where the Oakland Athletics taking on the Boston Red Sox. Today, the Boston Red Sox are going to send Brayan Bello to the hill against Joey Estes of the Athletics. Estes is 3-3, a 4.39 ERA, while Brayan Bello is 8-5, a 5.19 ERA. -178 is the line here on the Bo Sox. I had -132, so you're getting an overvalued Boston Red Sox team against a Oakland Athletics team who's 5-5 in their last 10. And you look at their last game, a 6-3 loss to Baltimore. Strength of schedule last 7 games at 38% compared to 30.6 for the Boston Red Sox. And last 2 games I've gone over. I had 42% on the Kogo. Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total. C neutral against B bullish. And the way Boston's hitting right now, in the league right now, Boston is ranked. Let me see here. The Boston Red Sox. Where did I got them ranked? Ranked 11th on offense and 12th on defense. And Oakland is ranked 28 on offense, 24th on defense. I'm going to go Boston here. I'm going to see if we get Boston -181. Little chalky. I don't know if I'd recommend it to my clients, but I'm going to go Boston Red Sox over the Oakland Athletics.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, the New York Mets taking on the Washington Nationals. Now, the Mets coming into this one, sending Jose Quintana to the bump against Jake Irvin. Irvin is 7-6 on the year, 2.80 ERA, while Jose Quintana, the lefty, is 3-5, a 4.22 ERA. And the computer pick does like New York to win this one, 4.34 to 3.86, the over-under at 8.2. Washington getting shut out yesterday against St. Louis, 6-0 was the final. And they're 4-6 in their last 10, 6-3-1 to the over. And for the New York Mets, they are 4-6 in their last 10 games, 6-3-1 to the over. Minus 180 was my price tag. And you know what? I think I like my first total here. I think I might go over the total in this one. Let me go look at the Raymond Report tip sheet. I don't want to take a look at something here. Let's go to MLB. New York Mets. All right. And I want to take a look at 6-5 at home to the over against C-type teams. Okay. 21-24 to the under, while 22-24. All right. So it's nothing really earth-shattering. You know, it's not nothing that's lopsided to one area. Okay. Just taking a look at some of the other stats and trends going into this game. The Washington Nationals on the road the last 30 days, 8-4 to the over. And for the New York Mets, anytime they're facing an opponent with a 41 to 50% win percentage at home, 9-3-1 to the over. I'm going to go over in this one, guys. I think this is my first total. I'm going to go over the total between Washington and New York. Total's 8.5, and let's go get that money.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, I've seen a trend that Colorado is 0-6 in Great American Ballpark through last season. Do you consider trends like that, or the? You know, I do. I do like those type of trends, and you know, I call them indicators. And once you get those type of indicators, you got to give a little bit of respect. But I need more indicators to sway me, right? But let me take a look here. Let me go to my regular database. Let me take a look at Colorado. And let me see here. And what did you say? At Cincinnati. And let me take a look. So we'll do the do last 7. We'll do last 10. Let's see what they do last 10. 2-8, right? Yeah, Cincinnati have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the last 10 games. Or yeah, 7 of 10. And yeah, look at that. They're all actually, you know what? That's a double right here. I gotta fix that. 5-4, 8-6, 5-3, 6-0. Yeah, you know what? Cincinnati's the better team, but I'm gonna take the Geico insurance. I still like Colorado plus money. All right, I'm going to go over the total between the Mets and the Nationals. All right, St. Louis taking on the Kansas City Royals. The Royals going to send Michael Wacha to the hill today against Andre Pallante of the St. Louis Cardinals. Pallante 4-3, a 4.0 ERA, while Michael Wacha 5-6, 3.74 ERA. The Kansas City Royals 18-25 on the road this season, while St. Louis 24-18 at Busch Stadium. And looking at their last 10 games, 7-3 straight up. You know what? St. Louis doing pretty good. I don't know if they were part of the trending up of the article that I wrote there at the beginning. Let me just see the teams that were trending up. I don't think St. Louis was on there, right? Let me see. No, it was Detroit, Houston, Minnesota, San Diego. All right, so... But I think St. Louis could be maybe part of that package right there. 53.5% chance of winning. The one thing with Kansas City is you know they can pitch, right? And you look at their pitching, they're ranked 6th in Major League Baseball, averaging 3.93 runs against. And today they got Michael Wacha, the veteran, and his ERA is 3.74. I'm going to go under the total in this one. I'm going to go St. Louis, Kansas City under the total. And it's just one of those gut feelings I get, right? Sometimes you get those gut feelings and you got to go with them. I'm going to go under the total today between Kansas City and the St. Louis Cardinals. And let's see if we can go get that money.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, the Miami Marlins taking on the one of the hottest teams in baseball right now, the Houston Astros. The Astros 6-4 last 10, but they're on a 2-game losing streak, and they're going to ask Ronel Blanco to stop the bleeding against Trevor Rogers, who's 1-9 on the year and a 4.91 ERA. Well, Blanco 8-3, 2.53 ERA, and yeah, with that comes a hefty price tag of minus 225. I had minus 181 as my value index. Kogo's at 47%. You got B neutral against C bearish, and I got a 68.9% chance of winning on Houston. Give me the Astros over Miami, and you can put it on the board.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
Minnesota Twins taking on the Chicago White Sox. Now, the Twinkies winning last night 8-6 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Today, they're going to send the giant Bailey Ober to the hill against Eric Fetty. Fetty on the year, 6-3, a 3.13 ERA. And for Bailey Ober, he's 8-4, a 4.12 ERA. Minnesota coming in hot. They're on a 3-game win streak right now, while the Chicago White Sox have lost their last 3 games. They are now 4-6 last 10, 7-2-1 to the over, while the Twinkies are 7-3 straight up and 7-3 to the over. I had minus 136 as my value index, and we are getting minus 151. And I'm going to go back to the well here. I'm going to take the hotter team. I'm going to go Minnesota over Chicago, and let's put it on the board.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, let's go to the Miller Park. Hey, let's go to Miller Park.
Dilly, dilly. Dilly, dilly.
Minus 164 is the line on the Brew Crew against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are now 4-6 in the last 10 off a 8-2 win. Was it yesterday against the New York Mets? And yeah, it was yesterday, and it was an afternoon delight at PNC Park. And Milwaukee last game, a 9-2 win over the Dodgers. They are now 5-5 last 10, 3-7 to the under. And looking at today's starting pitcher, Colin Reyes going up against Martin Perez. Looks like it's Martin Perez here, the lefty, but I'm seeing a couple of other names too. So keep an eye out on the starting pitchers. Some of the resources I go had Quinn Priester, but I'm looking at a couple of places and they're giving me Martin Perez, so we'll go with Martin Perez here. But again, go double check your starting pitchers. Perez is 1-4 in the year, a 4.85 ERA. Colin Reyes is 8-2, a 3.34 ERA. Milwaukee 27-13 at home this season, while the Bucks 21-23 on the road. You got a B team against a C-type team, and anytime Milwaukee takes on a C-type team, a team below 500, they are 35-15 straight up, and pretty good home record as well. And as I said at the top of the show, the Milwaukee Brewers ranked 8th overall in pitching and 8th overall in scoring average. Where did I get that average there? Where's Milwaukee? There they are, averaging 4.82 runs per game, giving up 3.96. So pretty good scoring averages on offense and defense. Give me the Milwaukee Brewers over the Pittsburgh Pirates. I kind of like the Pirates though. There's something that's telling me Pittsburgh might be worth a look on maybe the run line, but Milwaukee, they're playing their best baseball right now. I don't know. I wouldn't say their best baseball because they're still in first place. So they've been playing really good baseball. 53-38 on the year. Consistent baseball is maybe a better word to use. What was I looking at here? The run line. Pittsburgh Pirates. Where's the Bucks? I don't see the line here. I don't see the bookmaker doesn't have a line here. Interesting. All right. Anyways, I'm going to go Milwaukee in this one. I'm going to take the Milwaukee Brewers, and let's put that one on the board. You know what? Before we put a cherry on it, I want to see something. Let me go to my database. I want to see how Pittsburgh does in Milwaukee last 10. So let me go to my regular database. Major League Baseball. And let's do this. Let's go Pittsburgh on the road in Milwaukee. Last 10 games. 3-7. Okay. Yeah, Milwaukee's won the last two. Okay, that's all right. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to go Milwaukee over the Bucks. Put it on the board.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, let's take a look at the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Texas Rangers. Now, the Texas Rangers, 6-4 last 10, while the Halos 3-7. And at the top of the show, I showed you the charts where the Halos are one of the top teams on a downtrend right now. Texas winning 9-4 yesterday against the Halos. Today they're going to send Mad Max Scherzer to the hill, and Mad Max on the year 1-2, a 2.70 ERA since he's came back. Ronzi Contreras going to go here for LA. He's 1-1, a 4.04 ERA. The Texas Rangers, not a great road record, 19-27 on the year, while the LA Angels 18-27 at home. They're on a 2-game losing streak, and you know what? I'm going to go with the hotter team in this one. Give me the Texas Rangers over the LA Angels, and let's put that one on the board.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, the Arizona Diamondbacks, man, they can't catch a break with the closer here. Did you watch that game last night? And yesterday, when we gave that game, I gave out the Arizona plus 1.5 runs. I thought that, I really thought they'd win that game straight up, but the closer for the Paul Sewald, that's his third game in a row that he's came in the ninth inning and blown save, right? So Arizona's got some issues right now in the bullpen, and today they're going to hope that Zach 10-gallon hat can stop the bleeding. And, off that 5-4 loss last night, they're going up against Chris Sale and the Atlanta Braves and the number one pitching staff in the Major League Baseball. Atlanta, right now, only giving up, let me see here, 3.64 runs against. That's ranked number one in Major League Baseball. Price tag's a little, you know what? It's a nice little price tag here on Chris Sale at minus 113. But you're going up against Zach Gallen, who's on the year. Let me see. Zach Gallen is 6-4, a 3.06 ERA, while Chris Sale, the lefty, 11-3, 2.71 ERA. And let's take a look at Arizona, how they do at home against lefties. So let me go look at my dashboard. Going to go to Major League Baseball, and I'm going to go to that Arizona game, and let's see how Arizona does at home against Southpaws. And let's take here at Chase Field. Scroll to the bottom. And they are against lefties 6-9, not a great record. 9-6 to the over. You know what? The total 7.5. And home teams this year, when the total 7.5, very balanced. Bookmakers done a good job. 145 to 148. So you're teetering close to 50%. And total here 7.5, 1-2 for Arizona. So when Arizona's at home, total 7.5 only happened 3 times. That's pretty amazing. For the Atlanta Braves, on the road when the total 7.5, 4-3, 2-5 to the under. So I'm not going to touch the total in this one. And the anytime the Atlanta Braves are coming off a road win as a favorite, they're 6-10 in their next game, and if they're coming off a win, 10-13. So not a great record. And you know what? I like Zach Gallen. I'm gonna go Arizona in this one. Let's hope Sewald doesn't have to come in and save it. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But let me see, what's the price tag? Do we go get that Geico insurance again on Arizona against -1? Yeah, you know what? Just because of that, I'm going to do it. Arizona plus 1.5 runs, -165. Feel, if it's a 1-run game, I'll feel a lot better knowing that I bought that insurance. All right, give me Arizona plus 1.5 runs against Atlanta and put it on the board.
You can put it on the board. Yeah.
All right, let's go to San Diego. Petco taking on the Seattle Mariners. Now, the Mariners, pretty much a Jekyll and Hyde team, right? As we said at the top of the show, when you look at the Mariners, they can pitch, giving up only 3.76 runs per game, but they're only scoring 3.8, which is ranked 27th in Major League Baseball. So the issue with the Mariners is not defense, it's offense. They can't get on the board enough during a game. Today, they're going to ask Golden Logan Gilbert to go get the win against Adam Mazur. And if you look at Logan Gilbert, he's 5-5, a 2.91 ERA, while Mazur is 1-2, but a very bloated 7.52 ERA. Seattle coming off a 9-1 loss to Arizona, while San Diego off a 9-1 loss to Arizona, while Seattle losing 5-4 against the Toronto Blue Jays on Sunday. That was probably one of the best Major League Baseball games I've seen this season. Probably top 5. You guys watched that game between the Blue Jays and the Mariners? That was a back and forth game. It was 4-1. Springer, ties it up with a 3-run shot. Great defense. Obviously the Blue Jays won at the end, but that was a very good baseball game on Sunday between the Mariners and the Blue Jays. Seattle's on a 2-game losing streak. When you look at the Mariners, 19-25 on the road this year, while San Diego only 25-24 at Petco Park, and they're on a 2-game losing streak. I'm going to go with the better pitcher in this one. I'm going to go with Seattle on the road, and when they're facing a B-type team on the road, they are 11-10, and San Diego 13-8 against C-type teams. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is you got a B-bearish team here in San Diego, so I'd probably go beer and pizza money, but I'll go with the better pitcher here. Even though he's 2.91 ERA, you think his record be a little bit higher, but that's because of the lack of offense. So I think what's happening with Logan Gilbert, he's not getting a lot of run support when he pitches. So you either go under the total in San Diego, but I'm going to take Seattle over San Diego. And wait a minute. You know what? Hang on, hey, just hang on a sec here. I gotta take a look here. San Diego, right? Top teams trending up. Yep. So be careful. You know what? Caught myself right there. So at the top of the show, I gave you guys the top 4 teams that are trending up: Detroit, Houston, Minnesota, San Diego. Give me the under. I'm going to go under. I do like Seattle. I do like Seattle in this game, but because the way San Diego's playing right now and their strength of schedule has been pretty good, they're trending up. Give me the under 7.5 runs, and let's put that on the board.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
All right, let's go to San Francisco, where the Toronto Blue Jays, off that big 5-4 win over Seattle, taking on the San Francisco Giants, who lost their last game 5-4 against the Cleveland Guardians. Today, the Giants are going to send Blake Snell to the hill. He's 0-3 in the year, a 9.51 ERA. So, not having a great start. He only came back, a couple of weeks, a month ago maybe. Where Yusei Kikuchi's been on and off this year. Started off really good, then he had a little bit of a hiccup midway through, and then last game I thought he pitched pretty well. And in fact, let me go look at his numbers last game. Yusei Kikuchi, and let me see here. The lefty last game, 5 2/3 against Houston, 95, 5 hits, 2 runs. Hasn't won a game since June 11th. Yeah, Yusei Kikuchi has not won a game since June 11th. Blake Snell, you know what? 0-3 on the year, 9.51 ERA. What does Snell do last game? Let me see here. He's got to get back into form here soon, right? And how does Toronto do on the road against lefties? Let me go take a look at that. So you got the battle of lefties here today at Oracle Park. So let me take a look at the Blue Jays against Southpaws, and then we'll take a look at the Giants against Southpaws. All right, so Toronto Blue Jays against lefties, 1-5 on the road. Wow. And 4-8-10. So not a really, they're 8-5 last 30 days at home. So San Francisco 8-5 last 30 days at home, while the Blue Jays 5-8 on the road. The Blue Jays got they got a talented team, but they can't be they're not consistent. And when the Blue Jays are on the road, coming off a road win as an underdog, they are 1-7 in their next game. Give me San Francisco with Blake Snell over the Toronto Blue Jays, and you can put it on the board.
You can put it on the board, yeah!
Yeah, -123. All right, so San Fran against the Blue Jays. All right. You know what time it is? It's the 80% Club stats time.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
Not silly at all, because we are talking about the 80% Club stats, brought to you by the Raymond Report. You can get the Raymond Report each and every day today at atsstats.com. It's only $4.99 for a 1-week membership, $19.99 for 30 days, and $99.99 for 1 year. And you get all the tools in the toolbox right here in your dashboard. All right, when Seattle's a favorite and the spread is 120 to 140, 2-8 to the under. I like that. Hey, Kirk Cousin, do you like that?
You like that?
I do like that. I do like that. Zach Wheeler as a favorite when the spread's +120 to 140, 8-2 to the over. I don't like that. Minnesota as a road team versus an American Conference opponent. Second game of a series, coming off a 3-game win streak, and they're coming off a road win as a favorite. 2-16-1 to the under, and there's your mic drop right there. Play the under maybe in Minnesota against the White Sox. All right. You know what? This was it felt like I was going through a drive-through today. Hey, I felt like we didn't sit at that nice Italian restaurant and had took our time. I felt like we just flew right through, got our meal through the hole in the wall, and we just cruised right through. All right, bullpen's very quiet today. I guess back to work on a Tuesday, but that's okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show, and hopefully you guys got some good information to send you to the winner circle. Speaking of the winner circle, I put in my top plays each and every day right here at atsstats.com. If you want my free pick of the day each and every day, go to the website atsstats.com. Go to picks, and you'll see right here each and every day I put in a free pick. And yesterday my free pick was the Detroit Tigers. Day before that I had Arizona, Milwaukee, Toronto as my 3-game package. That was a good day. That was a good day at the office. Always like those type of days. And hopefully you guys will make it up and get to the winner circle today. All right, thanks for the info. Run for Prez. You got my vote, says King J SF. All right, thanks, King J. Appreciate you. And have yourself a great rest of your day, guys. I'll be back tomorrow on a Wacky Wednesday with another edition of the Raymond Report. Harry Carey, how about we get up for the 7th inning stretch? Let me hear you. Nice and loud.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.
You can